With September ending next week, it takes with it Idaho's wildfire season.
As conditions are changing, we find that we're having fires, almost year-round, even in Idaho here.
The season typically runs from the 1st of July through September, and since we saw a wet spring and lush green foothills over Boise early on, there was talk that this summer could have been an active one for wildfires.
So we normally start to see fire season picking up around June to July, and we had a pretty wet spring, which is kind of one of the bigger factors of whether or not we have a active fire season, and we did have a pretty wet spring.
High temperatures and dry air increase the fire danger. However, Idaho News 6 forecaster Eric Johnson explains that we had a below-average wildfire season due to above-average rainfall and snowfall in the mountains.
And you can see here, this is the water year precipitation, so this goes from October 1st to September 30th, so we're almost done with our water year here in a couple of days.
In fact, we had a record-setting year for moisture in Idaho, which helped reduce fires. The Bureau of Land Management says there were only about 150 fires in the state this summer, which is a little less than the 10-year average of 181 fires.
What was a big decrease is if you look at the number of acres burned. So when a fire starts, how much does it grow? We burned about 26,000 acres this year. Our 10-year average is 166,000 acres, so a big difference in that.
While we didn't have the weather that usually starts a lot of our fires, human interaction did play a big role in some of the fires we did have.
There's easy things like, being very cognizant of where you're at, what the conditions are at, whether you're doing fireworks, whether you're driving out on wildland dirt roads or whatnot, whether you're enjoying your recreation areas responsibly. We want to make sure that fire is part of the equation and part of what people are thinking about of how they can help with the situation out there.
Of course, fires can happen in the winter, so the BLM suggests that you build defensible space around your house and being aware of where you're stacking firewood for the winter. In Boise, Jessica Davis, Idaho, News 6.